Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry about all the technical issues. I've been talking to my ISP and hopefully everything will get fixed and worked out.
It
Um,
won't. They
they're-
tell you it will. They'll send millions of technicians, but they're not going to change anything.
well, fine. At least they're going to spend all of their money sending technicians to my house to dick around with things, and I'll have some sort of vengeance. I hate them. I love them, but I hate them because they're not Comcast and they provide a good service for a very cheap price, but the service isn't that good because they keep dropping. If it just wouldn't drop, it'd be fine. Fine.
Ah, well.
Yeah, actually, so the issue before was that the signal was peaking too high and knocking the modem offline. And when I talked to them this time, they said the signal's too low. So it's possible that because before they had put a bunch of dampeners on my modem, so that when the signal peaked, it wouldn't knock things offline. So it's possible they fixed the peaking problem and changed the everything else, and now the dampeners are killing me. So they should just have to take the dampeners off, I think, and then I should be fine. But we'll see.
Huh.
It's yeah,
Oh, well.
whatever. We're here now. We're doing Dyson with Death. Where did we leave off, Ryan? Where were we
Um,
rudely cut off?
yeah, so you're in a tavern in this other nameless country town south of Seagate.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle was gracing the crowd with her harp playing and singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we left off. Did you have any terrible, terrible schemes?
No, I just wanted
Crimes to
to.
perpetuate on the distracted crowd?
I'm just looking around for any wealthy people or people with money, people who might be tipping her. Just keep my eye out for affluence.
Um, a few people do throw copper or silver into her case.
Okay, I take an eye. I look at the people who give out silver.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there are a few people who reasonably well dressed. I mean, no one looks wealthy, but yeah, they certainly aren't dirty or poor.
The people pass out silver. Okay. Um. Hmm. Okay. I just keep an eye on them throughout the night. Are any of them alone by themselves there by themselves, or are they all with a group?
Um, both.
Both.
So there's yeah,
Okay.
there's a couple of wealthy. I don't know if you call them wealthy, but middle class merchanty types maybe who are alone. There's a group of some. There's one who's there with a woman.
Okay. That's fine. I'll leave them be. I'll leave.
Farmers and fishermen.
I'll leave them all here. This is too small of a town to try something for one night.
Okay. Yeah. So Michelle wraps up after about an hour or so. Much applause. And puts her stuff away. Enjoys a few free drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you wish to do? Are you hanging out in the bar until late?
No.
Talking with anyone?
I I just kind of casually sit up and just pass my evening pleasantly. I will chat with people if they chat with me. When Michelle stops playing, I will go sit down with her and chat with her. Continue to play up the husband-wife angle, and um, try and make
Okay.
an early evening of it.
Okay. Roll a charisma check for me.
20. One shy.
Yeah, not bad, but people seem to be more enamored with Michelle,
Of
understandably,
course.
than you.
Mm.
So you get largely ignored, uh, and they pay her much attention.
Okay.
Yeah, she once again recounts the tale of you slaying the giant fish dog.
Okay. Yeah.
She
I
leaves your name out of it.
I continue to leave my name out of it.
You actually, last town, you actually did tell them your name.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But this time you do.
Yeah, I leave it be. I'm not that
Yeah.
willful today. Um, yeah, I go to bed early, or I try to convince Michelle to go to bed early.
You wait for her.
Yeah, I do wait for her.
Okay. She doesn't appear to want to go to bed early, but eventually you call it a night
Okay.
and leave town reasonably early the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Continue north off the edge of your map.
Dun dun dun.
At some point early that morning, she tells you that news of the instabilities in Ashenholt have caught up with us. Not with, I mean, yeah, caught up with you. As in not relating to you, but this, she says in the tavern that there were rumors going around of.
Of what?
It was all sort of vague, but troubles in Ashenholt didn't necessarily seem to be indicating that he was dead, but just that he had was perhaps. I mean, some that he was like cloistered up in his keep and losing grip of the town. Some mentioned that that Ashenholt's bastard son was amassing an army of mercenaries, and apparently also the Lord of Seagate has called his banners.
What for?
Not entirely clear.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you for the information.
That'll be 2 silver, she says.
I smile and pat her on the shoulder
Okay.
and make our way to the wagon in the
This is
morning.
while this is while you're in the wagon traveling on
Yeah,
the road
okay.
north.
Cool. Then let me know when we get to Seagate, unless there's anything interesting on the road.
Um, nothing interesting unless you would like it to be. I mean, there are a few other people traveling, but no one stops to bother you or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. So around, let's say late afternoon, the sun is still in the sky. You're sort of looking out the window of the wagon, and you see sort of the sea has come into view, and the hills sort of roll down to reveal a great walled city on the edge of the ocean.
This is Seagate, I say.
Yeah. So as you get closer, there appears to be a large large wall encompassing the entire city. There are some farms outside of that, the city limits. And then looks like a smaller walled region, sort of towards the edge, right next to the ocean.
Okay.
That's about all you can make out from here. Looks reasonably large, at least thousands of buildings.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I have. Oh God, not Bartholomew. I have a
Bates, yes.
Bates. I have Bates take us in
Merchant that you robbed.
and take us to. I tell him to take us to one of the nicer inns in town.
Yes, my lord. So the guards at the gate do sort of stop him and ask some cursory questions.
I pay attention, but
They say, "Where are you from?" He says, "South, my lord, by way of Ashlock." And they sort of nod and say, "Transporting any cargo, blah, blah, blah." Must seem to be tax-related questions. They take a peek in your window.
I would give them a wave.
They look, and appear satisfied, and wave you through. Yeah, 2 guards armed with halberds with that same teal sigil of the boat, the ship. So you pass through the outside gate, Yeah, through rows of city streets, houses, and shops. Um, the buildings seem to get nicer, sort of the closer or the further you travel into the city.
Mm-hmm.
At least the way you're traveling. The streets are made of cobblestone, so it's a bit of a bumpy ride, but it's fine. Yeah, so after a little while, you sort of lost track of where you've been going, but Bates eventually pulls you up to the front of a nice looking inn
Mm-hmm. All right.
and opens the door for you.
Excellent. As we go in, I ask him to bring in my lady's stuff and bring them upstairs for her. And I go to the clerk and ask for a room for me and my lovely wife.
Just for the night. By the way, the name of this inn is the Sea Breeze.
The sea breeze. I'm going to actually write that down.
Okay, so he asked just for the night, sir.
We'll be here a week, at least. More likely a fortnight.
Very well. Would you like to pay up front
I would
for the week?
for the week. Make sure that we have a nice feather bed.
So yeah, that'll be 6 gold for the week.
I pay him 6 gold. Ooh, pricey. And tell him to send up my manservant with our bags when he comes in.
Your manservant.
Yeah, he's my manservant.
Fair
He
enough.
is.
Yeah, so you have a second floor room overlooking the ocean. You can sort of see the inner wall from here, and there is a keep within that, and some of the nicer
Excellent.
buildings.
I pull Michelle aside and I say, "Darling, we are going to become very wealthy in this town."
Good. I like money.
I know. So do I. Uh, Now, my plan of action was to split up, you finding information your way, doing whatever it is that you like to do, me getting information my way, doing whatever it is that I like to do. And if either of us find any significant marks, we will see how best to approach them. I'm sure we can use you for a great deal of information gathering and perhaps some distracting, and maybe if you like to get your hands dirty a little bit, some of that. And I can do my part where it comes into play. Some of the more dangerous work. How say you?
Very well. Am I still to play the part of your lady wife?
Uh, Here at the inn, I think that's appropriate, but out in the
She sort of
world, you do what you
scowls.
need to do.
This act is growing quite old.
Is it not realistic enough for you? Need we make our nights a little bit more, uh, how should I say? Should we act our nights out better?
I'm going to go get a drink. She heads downstairs. Marital bliss.
Marital bliss. So, it's evening time or late afternoon time or morning time?
It's just no. It's early evening, late
Okay.
afternoon. Sun's just setting.
Okay. Uh, has Bates brought up our stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Cool.
did.
I tell him farewell, thank you for your services, and I slip him an extra 1 gold coin and say, from the two humans that you took, Methuselah and Brooke, we thank you for your services.
Much obliged, my Lord Bethesda. And he nods and leaves.
Okay. Excellent. Finally in Seagate. What do I want? What trouble? It's evening. It's probably not the right time to start doing things. I go to the innkeeper and ask him where I can find. I step away from Michelle and
Mhm.
ask him where could I find a wonderful shop to get something for my lady wife.
As in jewelry? Clothing?
Jewelry and clothing.
Uh, he gives you directions to two stores. One's a tailor, seamstress. Tailors make lady clothes. I don't know. One's a clothing shop, and the other is a jeweler. Both within a couple of blocks.
Okay. I head to the jeweler first. See if it's still open.
Yeah, yeah.
I poke my head in and start looking about.
There is a gnome
Good Sir
counter.
Gnome. It's been a long time since I've seen a non-human walking about.
Hello, Master Elf. What can I do you for? Most of the things on display are sort of like larger pieces, and most like I don't know, like polished rocks and shit, like a large geode and maybe some like granite work and stuff. Behind the counter, he has a couple of gemstones, but there's not a lot on display. And then there's a door behind them to his workshop.
Interesting. Interesting. I pick up some things here and there.
There's really nothing to pick up.
Okay, well,
There are large pieces on display, and then a glass counter that he's leaning against that has a few pieces of jewelry or gemstones in it.
okay. I would kind of like to pick out the location of the windows in the room, location of the doors in the room. And you said that the door to the workshop behind him is closed?
Um, no, it's ajar, and you
It's a
can
jar.
sort of see in the back room.
Okay.
Not really anything obvious. Some
I,
pieces of
I peruse
machinery.
for a little bit, make a little bit of conversation with him. And then
He asks what you're looking for.
sometimes it's nice to have a more wearable form of wealth, one that shows things off and is a little harder to get pickpocketed. Looking to transfer some of my wealth out of coin and into jewelry or gem. Tell me now, do you have anything more extravagant than what I see here?
He sort of raises an eyebrow. I mean, what he's under some of the stuff on the counter is plenty extravagant.
Yeah.
Not impressed, are you?
No. The work is fine. The equipment is fine. It's just I would not. I if I am to be making a purchase, I'd like to make one good purchase rather than multiple purchases, if you know what I mean.
His eyes sort of lighten up. So, what would be extravagant enough for you? Rings, bracelets, brooches,
I'm a fan of the
a crown?
bracelets, necklaces. I wouldn't dare put a crown on my head, at least in these realms. Where I come from, that may be a different story, but
What sort of price range are you looking for? I can do custom work.
I'll be here some time. I'm not looking to make any final purchases today, but something in the range of 1,500 gold coins.
He's he pulls a few pieces out from underneath the counter to give you a closer look.
I pick them up and look at them very politely and set them back
None
down.
of them seem, yeah. particularly interesting.
How? What would I need
Bracelets,
to?
rings, brooches.
What would I need to
If
do
you
to use my appraisal skill on these things?
oh, roll a proficiency check. I
Okay.
don't think you does it take much time. I think it's pretty much just like a if you are able to inspect it, you can appraise it.
Cool. I would like to appraise the pieces that he pulled out for me. 26 on my proficiency check.
Yeah, let me double check what that proficiency does, but must have the item in hand to examine. I guess I'm probably supposed to roll these in private, actually.
Oh, okay.
What is your appraisal skill? Because
Plus
if you
12.
if you roll a 20, you wildly misestimate this
Okay.
value.
I have a 12.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna have to roll for each of them. That's strange that on a 20 you. Wow.
Well, because
I think I'll make it.
it would be on a 1.
Oh yeah. So it's on a 1 the way we do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay. Um. Um. Yeah. So he shows you a ring worth a couple hundred GP, a bracelet worth closer to 1,000, a necklace worth also the same, maybe around 1,000. Um, there is, yeah. So at seeing you not expressing interest in these, he opens a separate lockbox showing off a brooch worth a couple hundred, another necklace worth close to 1,000.
I try and
There's
note where he opens this lockbox. Like, is it in the floor behind him? Is it.
it's built. It's like built into the counter,
Okay.
sort of near floor level.
Okay.
He pulled a key from his waist.
Okay.
There was also a key to the lock case, the glass case. He pulls out a bracelet that looks like it's sort of made from flowing, shimmery pieces of almost look like strands of diamond. Despite its extravagance, upon inspection, you wouldn't guess that it's worth more than a couple hundred. Do you give him any feedback? He sort of stops at this point unless he asks if you're looking for something for a woman. He can show you perhaps some earrings.
My lady wife can carry it, or I can. It does not really matter. I appreciate you this in your store. Will be perusing for the next couple of days and then making a purchase towards the end of the week. I shall probably be back. You say you do custom work too?
Yes, indeed.
Do you have any custom work on hand, or is this all yours?
He points to several of them and says that he made them.
I give them like a cursory examination just to be like, oh, well,
I mean,
fine
some of the
craftsman.
ones you had already looked at. He's like, I made that one, that one, that one. I bought those.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
He seems particularly proud of the shimmery liquid diamondy things, but you don't find yourself particularly impressed.
okay. Um, I thank him and leave. And then as I'm on my way, I have my hand on the doorknob, opening the door. I'm like, what time do you open and close?
I'll be closing up in just a short while, he says. Usually open 9 a.m. I don't know that they have times.
Right. First watch, second
Sure.
watch, sort of thing.
First, yeah.
First light. Oh, thank you. And I exit. Where is my inn in relation to this place? Could I see this place from my inn, either from my room or from the common room?
You don't think so. It's only like a block down and a block up, but your in room faces the other direction.
Okay. Is there anything? What other shops are around this place? Are there any? What other? What places could could I? What do you say? How do you say? Nonchalantly hang out in and observe this place from? Like, is there a cafe? Is there a bar? Is there? What do I got?
Um, there's no cafe or bar within that you can see from here. There's sort of a tavern a little ways down the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a blacksmith nearby. There was that tailor a little ways down the street.
Okay.
And then otherwise, it seems like a lot of houses, slightly more like middle class houses.
I'll just go back to the inn, have dinner and whatnot, and do I have rope? I don't have any rope. You said my room's on the second floor? Ryan?
Yes, your room is on the second floor.
Okay. I will just go back and hang out at the inn, and I will leave in the evening, well past midnight. After everyone's gone to bed, I want to leave my inn room and go downstairs and see what's happening in the common room. You know, like the dead of night.
It's not the dead of night. It's
No,
like
no, wait. No, I go into my room,
Oh, okay.
chill until the dead of night, and then come out.
Okay. All right. Michelle is not around. Anything you wish to do in your room?
No, no.
Twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I hang out. If Michelle comes to bed, I chat with her, tell her I'm gonna go try something tonight.
What time do you wait till?
I would like to wait 2 hours after she comes to bed.
Okay. It is. Yeah, it's quite late when she comes back. You'd guess probably 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. She sort of staggers in and immediately sprawls out on the bed.
I chat with her for a little bit, and I'm gonna make a willpower check of my own, and I say, "Well, tonight may be your lucky night. I've got my eyes on some lovely pieces that I think would go quite well on your neckline."
And she sort of rolls over and cracks one eye. I'm rather fond of the necklace I have, thank you.
You wouldn't like more than one? Perhaps a brooch or a bracelet? Maybe some earrings?
What about a crown?
I think you would be decapitated for wearing such a thing. Although maybe
Who
someday
could cut off such a pretty head?
you and I can agree on at least one thing. And I make a rollover move to try and plant a kiss on her.
Oh,
Do I need to roll a
yeah. Why don't you roll the hit?
wait? Roll to hit or roll like
Roll the
a
hit.
charisma check? Okay. What bonuses are involved in
Just
this?
use
High
pretend it's like a
ground,
touch attack.
melee adjust,
With your face.
surprise,
Called shot.
called shot.
No, I'm joking. Just make a regular roll the hit.
16, easy peasy.
Yeah, you plant a kiss on her lips. She seems to be caught slightly unawares, and it's a little sloppy. She seems a little slightly drunk, but you plant
I
your
push
kiss.
further.
At first, she's kind of like, but eventually acquiesces.
Excellent.
You get the impression that she's slightly intoxicated, but if that doesn't bother you, the events unfold.
I mean, if she
And we can
resists,
avoid-
I stop. But if she's
I mean, nothing. Nah, she sort of shoves you away at first, and then eventually.
oh well, then yeah, if she shoves me away, I roll off. This is not. I am not pushing myself on her. It's not. It's not Qualneer's way.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then it
Okay.
stops quite abruptly then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At that point, when she pushes me off, I go, "Well, I shall be back later in the evening, perhaps in
She
the
sort of
morning."
cocks her head quizzically at you and lays back down.
Okay. Excellent. I head out into the common room at this point, whatever this is.
It's pretty late. There's only a few other people down there,
Excellent.
mostly alone.
I order a couple of drinks, sit until everyone leaves, and then tell the bartender I'm going to go take a walk, check out
Um,
the evening sea air.
okay. So you have a drink or two. You doze off. You wake up to find yourself alone in the. Actually, there's another drunk passed out at the bar. Bar keeps cleaning up, but everyone else has
I
since
check my pockets,
departed.
make sure that I have all my money with me.
Did you have all of your stuff on you?
Yeah.
It's all gone. No. You're fine.
No. Cool.
Nothing's taken as far as you can see.
Okay. Um. Cool. Then I would like to head out when it's nighttime and start walking around. Not walking around. I want to go look at the shop that I was in earlier.
Okay. All right. There are windows, but there are bars behind them.
It's fine. How? What are we calling it? How many people are in and about the street near the door?
Near the door, there's you look up and down. You see a pair of people. They're about a block away, walking towards you.
Okay. I kind of just casually and slowly stroll past them, and make my way to the door of the shop. If I wasn't already there, if I was already there, I walk past it and then turn around and come back.
Say that again. You wait for them to pass you.
Yeah, I basically I walk. I continue walking as if
Okay.
I'm going about my normal business, and then when they pass me, I kind of peer round looking to see if there's anyone else, and then I head back to the shop. Or head to the door of the shop.
It looks like no one else. So you head back to the shop.
Yes.
You wait for those people to walk out of eye shot, out of
Yeah.
vision.
At least get pretty far away, and then I'd like to kneel down by the door and detect traps, which is a 50% chance. Find remove traps.
Okay, I don't see any harm in letting you roll it yourself. Right? Oh, wait. Hold on a sec. No, I should roll it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to
whatever.
think. Yeah, because then, it might give you information as to yeah. You find no traps.
Excellent. I
Is
would
that
like
one roll to find and remove?
no
or is
one
it...
roll to find, one roll to remove. I would like to open locks, which is now 75% chance.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Actually, yeah, you can roll for this one, right? Yeah.
30 success.
Okay. Click as the front door to the jeweler's opens.
Okay. I would like to push the door open just a crack,
Mm-hmm.
and then detect traps around the frame of the door before I open it all the way.
There is no traps.
Excellent. I open the door, walk in, and shut the door behind me.
Okay. You are inside the
Okay,
jeweler
good.
store that we described earlier.
Excellent. Perfect. I smile, crack some fingers, and make my way towards the cabinet that we were looking in earlier that had all the lovely wares.
Okay, yeah, so there's two glass cabinets actually that are display.
Mm-hmm.
Um, looks like there's maybe a half dozen things on display
Okay.
in the glass cabinet. Plus, there's a few like minerals and geological and like art pieces, larger pieces on display throughout the
I ignore
storefront.
such
And then
things.
okay, and then there were like some concealed pieces.
I would like to go. How does the glass cabinet open? Is there a lock on something? Or are the pieces in the cabinet?
Yes, there's a lock on the lid to like open up a glass door.
Hmm. I'll detect traps on that lock as well, I guess.
There's two. So there's one on each side of the cabinet. One has six assorted um, rings, brooches, and stuff. The other side there are two necklaces, sort of on little necklacey things.
We'll start with the
There's
brooches and rings.
no traps.
75% chance to pick locks. 25.
Click.
I open it,
Mm-hmm.
scoop up all the belongings in there, and dump them into my bag.
Okay. Um, okay. You want to write down what you're scooping now, or
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What do I got?
um, let's say three rings, one brooch, two wrist, what do you call them? Bracelets. You appraised some of these are all in the hundreds.
All of these items are in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I didn't actually give you explicit values. If you as you try and palm them, I can. You would already,
I'll go over them later.
yeah.
I move to the next chest or case, the one with the necklaces,
Okay.
and detect traps.
Oh, traps. I was like waiting for you to roll. No traps.
Pick the locks. 30 score,
It pops open.
and I empty the contents into my bag, which are
This was two necklaces. They were each closer to 1,000.
okay. And then I want to go over to the little drawer where he had pulled stuff out from earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and detect traps again. 50-50.
This does seem to have some sort of mechanism that may be activated if you were to try and open the lock. What does that smile for?
That's the I. It actually came in handy. I would like to try and remove traps.
Let's go ahead and see how that works.
Yeah, I haven't done that in forever.
Then not in this campaign.
Ryan, you keep disappearing further and further off the screen. Gone, we can't see you anymore.
All right.
Find remove traps.
Searching for. Oh wow. So searching for traps takes 1 to 10 rounds. By the way.
Yeah.
So you've been in here for probably about 15 minutes. Oh no, the lock picking is also. So you've been at it for probably about a half an hour.
Yeah, I expect it to be a while.
Okay, once the trap is found, you can try and remove it or disarm it. Alrighty. Ooh. You find yourself unable to get it disarmed.
Well,
Can't quite get in there.
this is built into the side of the
It's
cabinet.
built into the into the lock. So you
No,
think that
so the lock, the box, the thing that is being locked is the cabinet, though, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, this is the closed drawer, the drawer that he unlocked and pulled out some extra pieces to show
Right.
you. Um, you think, yeah, you can't quite tell what the trap is, but it looks like that there's some mechanism that would be triggered if you tried to unlock the lock.
I can't tell what the mechanism is.
Mm, not particularly. Like there's something that it looks like would trigger if you were to try and pick the lock.
Hmm.
You would guess that with the key that perhaps it wouldn't.
Right. Question is, how greedy are we feeling tonight? Oh, we're always feeling greedy. Okay. I want to head back to the workshop, and I will just test the door to see if it opens.
It is locked.
It's locked?
Mhm.
Well, shit. I I just picked the lock. I don't bother detecting traps on this one.
You
9.
die.
Damn it!
9.
9.
It opens.
Cool. I kind of stroll into this. I carefully open, peer in slowly, and then stroll in, looking
It's pretty
around.
dark back here. I guess your elf eyes can prevent you from tripping over things. Yeah, there's a couple of pieces of equipment for polishing and cutting gemstones. There's a few. It appears pretty tidy. There are a few cabinets you could search through, and there's one or two pieces that are still out that look like he was mid working on.
No. I look for perhaps an exit to a bedroom or a staircase that leads to another part of the building.
Um, no, there is a back door, but that's about it.
Uh, is there a window as well?
Yes, there are side windows.
Okay, so I can tell if this back door leads outside or leads to another part of the house.
You
Building.
think it leads? You don't know. Yeah,
Hmm.
you're not sure.
I try the doorknob. The
It
handle
is locked, although you can unlock it from here.
without lockpicking check or just.
Just yeah, it's the deadbolt or whatever
Oh yeah,
is
well.
here.
Oh well, then hey, it's definitely an outdoor door. Okay, I go back inside, sit in front of the trapped thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I look a. Hmm. It's a drawer. Is there anything under the drawer?
No. What do you mean?
Like, is this a drawer that's just built into a solid thing, or is this like a drawer on a desk where underneath it's just kind of like wood?
It's built into the. I mean,
Can I
it's
touch
not
the bottom
wood.
of the drawer? Is what I'm asking.
No,
Okay.
no. It's set into the cabinet, and the frame is metal.
Okay.
And there's a glass display case on top, and then there's like
Okay.
the bottom of the glass display case, and there's a drawer built in underneath that.
Okay. I go back to. I've already opened this display case, right?
Yeah.
I open it again, or keep it open, and I want to knock lightly on the bottom of the display case. To.
Yeah. So there's some sort of like fabric
Mhm.
on the bottom, but it sounds like there's metal underneath that fabric.
Okay. This will be fine for me. I take out a piece of parchment.
Mm-hmm.
I take out my quill and ink, and I draw an open hand in the
Mm-hmm.
parchment, and then I write below it, Lord Ashenholt thanks you.
Okay.
And then I fold it up and I seal it with a little bit of black wax, and do not press my signet ring into it. Instead, I will just. Fingerprinting technology hasn't come out yet, has it? It's not a thing, is it?
Not that you know of, although there may be some magical spells that can reveal similar information.
Um, I won't stamp this wax. I'll just leave it just to dry on its own.
Wishing you had that seal, aren't you?
I have a seal of my own. Yeah, I
But
wish I had
not
Ashen Holt
actual,
seal.
so you give that away.
Yeah. Then I would like to close the lids.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind
Where
of
do you leave the note?
I leave the note in one of the drawers. I'm sorry, one of
One of
the
the cabinets.
cabinets.
Okay.
Um, I'd like to poke around, look for anything else of interest.
I mean, there's some interesting pieces, but they're
Yeah.
large. They're 10 pounds each, maybe. Big old hunks of rock.
Okay. Um, and I go to the front door and I just open it a crack and peer out into the night.
You see a crowd of maybe 4 or 5 young men walking down the street,
Oh, well, then
staggering,
I
talking
keep
loudly
the
to
door,
themselves.
if I opened it a crack to peer out, I just kind of shut it enough that the door that you can't see through, but not enough to actually close it all the way, and just
Okay.
wait. I wait
They
5 minutes and then
Yeah, they walk by and then loudly depart.
I do the same thing again. I peer out, make sure no one's outside.
Looks clear.
Cool. Step outside, close the door behind me, and walk back towards the bar, towards the inn.
Okay. All right. By now, the sun is just starting to peek out of the eastern sky over the wall of the city.
Perfect. I stumble back into my inn room.
All right. Michelle is fast asleep in the bed.
Okay. I light a candle. I have flint and steel for such a task.
Okay.
And I would like to appraise my items. 3 rings, a
Okay.
brooch, 1 brooch, 2 bracelets, and 2 necklaces.
You've already inspected most of them.
I mean, you said hundreds and thousands. I was just hoping for exact values, so I could trade
Yeah.
later.
You're rolling pretty well on these proficiency checks. Yeah, you've actually, yeah. So I said 3 rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is about 100, one's about 300, one's about 600. The brooch is 400, and then you had two bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
300 and 600.
And I had already appraised the necklaces, you said?
Oh, you got they were each 1,000 as far as
Okay.
the appraisal just rounds to the nearest 1,000 or 100,
Okay.
as the case may be.
Cool. Um, I tuck my backpack under the bed and go to sleep.
All right.
Oh.
By the time you wake up, Michelle is gone.
Perfect. I head downstairs and grab some breakfast.
Alrighty.
Excellent.
Get some fish stew. Doesn't quite agree with you.
Ugh. I send it back and say I want something else.
Mm.
If I'm paying a gold a night, I'm not eating bad fish stew.
I mean, it may be perfectly delicious, but it's not to your taste. They bring you some cheese and bread.
Better. Well, I walk up to the innkeep,
Mm-hmm.
say nothing, and walk out.
Okay.
I want to walk around town. Was it break time? Should we have broken? I think we're supposed to break. It's
You
on
should
the
break in a
hour.
few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to walk around until I can find someone who will, until I find kind of a dirty peasant-looking guy, and ask him for directions to kind of a more sketchy bar, like a lower class bar.
How do you put that?
Good sir,
Can
do
you
you...
direct me to a low-class peasant bar that you might frequent?
No, perhaps I walk up to him and say, good sir, do you know where I could find a gilded bar or tavern?
He sort of looks sort of skeptically, maybe a little bit freaked out or afraid. Then he sort of looks up and down the street, seems confident that you aren't being overheard, and gives you directions to a tavern. He says, it's called the Gilded Rat, down by the docks.
That's not very subtle at all, is it? And I head to the
He
Gilded
shrugs and
Rat.
walks off.
Okay. I'd like to go to the Gilded Rat.
Mm-hmm.
When I arrive, I would like to, strike up a conversation with the bartender and drop a little thieves' cant.
What do you say?
Um, I say I'm looking for a merchant, and then I use merchant as the mark.
Do you use the word for fence, or do you actually just say there's a different word for
For someone who
law,
you
but
would
like an actual merchant who sells things
a merchant in terms of
versus
someone where I could steal something from.
oh.
Yeah, like a target, a mark.
His eyebrows sort of furrow. He sort of leans in. He sort of looks your arm up and down, and he says, "That sort of information is for members of the guild only.
Exactly. I'm
Members of the
actually
union only."
looking for a handler. Shit, I don't have my handler's name written down. Hold on, I might have it on the PDF. I know. One sec.
It's entirely possible you've forgotten his name.
Shit, I did forget his name. It's not written down anywhere. I knew a guy back in Ashenholt. Good handler. Help me
No one thinks their handler is good.
out with a few things. I'd like to introduce myself as I'm new to the neighborhood. Just wanted to make sure I was talking to the right man.
He sort of looks at you expectantly.
Do you have?
Not,
Can you make me an introduction to those who I should know?
he sort of looks at you appraisingly, as if trying to decide what to do with you. Look, I'm just a barkeep. I'm not sure if I have what you're looking for. Can I get you a drink?
Please, whiskey.
That'll be 3 copper.
Give him his filthy copper.
Right. So he pours you the whiskey and goes to help another customer.
I don't want to step on too many toes. In fact, I might already have, but it's a little late for that. All right. I don't. Let's take a break because I can't figure out what I need to do right now. I'm trying to figure out how to approach this the best as possible.
All right. Yeah. All right. See y'all in 5 minutes.
Yep. Bye bye.